We're going to explore a topic that's revolutionizing our field, the digital transformation and AI in procurement. To guide us through this, I'm delighted to welcome back Mr. Krishan Batra. The floor is all yours again.
Thank you again, Annie. Well, friends, welcome to the session, which I could hear in the morning that when Jack Sang was touching around. A lot of questions came on digital part, clarity on e-procurement, clarity on whether how to use it for sustainability. I'll try to answer all those things. Well, friends, welcome to the topic on digital transformation and AI in procurement. The purpose is to transform procurement into a strategic function and data-driven. I could be strategic, but again, I want this to be data-driven. I think he also touched it, Jack Sang, about the data part, the quality of the data, the richness of the data, and we want it to be agile. Well, friend, with this, let me now start what I plan to do around the learning objective I've kept around in the procurement journey and its evolution, how it has evolved over the time. Understanding the concept of digitalization. I know this question came, I was hearing it. What exactly is digitalization? One is digitization, one is digitalization, and AI partners. And AI certainly, I'll tell you, because this it's not a new word around. It has been in 1956, even in 70, when I was studying in the college time, that time also we had AI. I'll tell you how we were doing it around. What, why, and how of digital transformation. The learning the role of big data and AI. Know your maturity level of procurement around. That's what we'll see here. Steps to transform procurement into digital first economy and tips for success. I know you asked some questions around implementations and all those things. I'll try to see what I can cover. Well, friend, in the introduction, I'll say we are here to discuss the topic that is reshaping the landscape of procurement. Everywhere, every day you hear around somebody talking of ChatGPT, something is talking AI, how it is affecting my procurement, how my role will change. This is what we're going to talk about. As we navigate this transformation, it's essential to understand not just the technology involved. Technologies are available, yes. Same technology fits very well with one company, but may not fit with the other one. So one size for all will not work. That you have to keep in mind. But also, how can they drive well? How can I get efficiency? At the end of the day, when I have to make a proposal to my management, guys, I want to go into digital world. I want to go into AI. The first question will be, how much is it going to cost us? What is the return on investment? What changes will happen? So broadly, the focus which come on the return on investment would be the value part. Value is not only the price, it could be many parameters. Next thing would be efficiency. Will it save my time? Will it cut short the cycle time? And innovation in procurement. Innovation means I'm looking at the processes side. The processes which are very long nowadays in the public side, even in the private sector I've seen, those could be cut short. That's what we're doing. Now, the changing landscape of procurement. Procurement landscape has evolved significantly. Since I've been in this business for the last 4 decades, before that, I was a designer. But then after doing my MBA in supply chain, long back in the US, I moved into supply chain. It's a cost-cutting function in the good old days. And still, I would say many companies, procurement is seen, oh, how much you save? End of it. But they're not looking at how I'm improving the process part, how I'm improving the agility part, how I'm improving the resilient part. So today's procurement is a strategic driver for value, integral, and achieving competitiveness. Need to navigate increasingly complex challenges. And the complex challenges are what? Disruption. Disruption of supply. Like to Red Sea, if I want to ship something, I have difficulties. I have to go a long way. It takes double the time to go to Europe. Cost of becoming double, shipment cost. Evolving regulations. The regulations are also changing. Each government is coming, guys, we have to cut down the carbon footprint. We have to cut down this. So all those regulations are we going in that? And then heightened expectation from sustainability and transparency. Sustainability is one part, which everybody is very particular with the climate change happening around. And the next thing is the transparency. So transparency part also, everyone want to see, particularly in the public sector, guys, who got the contract, on what basis they got the contract. It is not to be hidden in the piles of paper. It has to be transparent in the system. So procurement need to develop their own ecosystem. Like we say in manufacturing, we have an ecosystem. So same way in procurement also we need to have ecosystem where suppliers are able to connect. Everybody has a complete information. Now, digital transformation and AI offers the tools and capability to meet these challenges. That's what we can say. Look at this. I think this gives you the lovely idea about how the era has moved around. Historically, the procurement dates back to 1862. It dates back even to pyramid time. The pyramids of Egypt, what you've seen around, are in the Roman Empire. So procurement has been a lot from the many, many years. But what I'm showing you from 1916 to now, so the changes which has happened in 2000, e-sourcing. I think you heard from Dr. Singh from Singapore. They came in 2000 in the concept of e-procurement. But e-sourcing was one of the major chunk of that. Then when we come to 2015, now we are talking around is what they're calling procurement 2.0. So that is basically they're talking of the use of digital supply network. That means moving from E going to digital. So keep in mind, E is different, digital is next. So that means from e-procurement moving on to digital procurement, and now from digital procurement, the next future is generative AI. So generative AI to me is the latest one. So digital is procurement 4.0, and I would call this one as procurement 5.0. So generative is the one which goes one step further. The chat GPT, which he was trying to show you the example, and Singapore government also want to move from digital. Presently they are in E-word, they want to go into digital, and from digital they want to go into generative AI. That's what they were talking about. Now 2024 and ahead. Procurement. So we are looking for transformation. If I see the last 4 decades around, majorly changes happened in the last 10 to 15 years in the developing country. In the Western countries, it has been going on changes for many years. But in this part of the world, it's changing now. Now, demand strategic responses to navigate multi-phase challenges, including climate change. Climate change talks have been going on for many years. In the morning also, I showed you my booklet, which we developed it. And that's the time we were talking around is 1992 when we had President Clinton. He was focusing a lot. And I was based in Denmark at the time. So we were moving around, guys. We have to do it. But then things became slower. But now with its real impact, everybody is moving into that. So as we move into confident in 2024, the world of procurement is undergoing changes. Now, some people will say, Guy, we are only why we are talking of procurement. Procurement is the key thing. We talk of private sector, 70%, 60% of the revenue is in procurement. So that means the carbon footprints are coming through procurement. Public sector also, 15 to 20% we are spending, the GDP goes into the projects. And projects mean majorly is procurement. So in short, procurement is the key point around of creating the carbon, because there are activities. Activities create carbon footprint. So that's affecting the climate as well. Now, the changes required in the procurement is first thing, embrace technology. Without that, we cannot move. That's enabler. So when I moved from the private sector to the UN, in 2004, we started around implementing ERP worldwide. And I took the lead. I went around all the countries around how to implement ERP. Everybody was happy that, oh, we have got ERP. It's a wonderful thing. But that ERP alone was not good enough for procurement. I'll show you further. Transparent and efficient process. We need good governance. We need good capacity building of the staff also around, skill enhancement around, the talent development as well, collaboration with stakeholders. We cannot work in silos. Procurement cannot work in silos. They have to work with all the stakeholders inside and outside. Inside could be your marketing people, designers, whatever you may call it. Outside could be different supplier itself. Data driven. The last slide which Sang was showing, he was focusing on the data part. Data is a gold, data is the fuel in the future. But the problem today we have is data is not clean. Sustainable procurement practices. Support for SMEs and local industry. I think he talked about in the morning when our chief guest was talking around, Anna was saying around, she was also saying the women entrepreneur. Basically what we are looking is a diversity. Diversity of small, medium industries, diversity of women entrepreneurs. So those people who are deprived, we want them to move forward. So that's the one we are looking at. So in short, if I say there's an era of disruption, 80s onward till Cold War, till now, we are talking of VUCA word, volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous. But now this word has moved further. It's called BANI because the product life has shortened up. Look at the mobile phone. Every 6 months, you have to change. New model comes in, new features comes in. Car, every year new model, which in the past was never like that. So now that means this is a paradigm shift for us. We have to shift the new word around. So digital transformation is maturing, but relationship with stakeholders are still stuck in the past. I'll be moving faster because I want to keep more time for the question answer, so let me move. So in procurement, we have 3 layers: operational layer, tactical layer, and strategic layer. Operational mean if you got 100 people dealing with procurement, 70% people are doing firefighting, operational job. Now these operational jobs are slowly moving into AI. Then we are going into the number 2, tactical part. That number remains same, 20%. Strategic was 10%. Now strategic will become wider. So more people are required for doing strategic function. So the whole pyramid will reverse up and down. So one will shrink and one will expand. So there's no loss of job with AI, which many people think around. I would say with the one level, strategic level, become wider. That's all. If you look at the historically, strategic part came in 80s. Strategic means we became guys, procurement is not just shopping. Procurement is trying to strategize what I want to buy, why, how should I procure? So we came with the concept of strategy, which are my key procurement, ABC analysis, 80-20 formulas, all that came here. Then came e-procurement. And this is where our colleague from Singapore was showing around. They implemented in 2000 e-procurement. So e-procurement means e-RFX, e-auction, e-contract, e-catalog. So all words started with E. E-sourcing, everything came with a E. ERP is also with the E, but then ERP is a little different. So this is where we'll talk about. And then now from e-procurement, we created a platform for database. And now we are moving into digital part. And from digital, then we are moving into further is incorporating AI. And the AI is a part of digital. AI is one of the tools of digital. That's what I wanted to say. This, I think, gives you good clarity around all. The word which I have seen around from 70s, at the time I was working with Tata's, MRP was there, Material Requirement Planning. Then ERP, since I've been involved in implementing it, ERP came. Then ERP, the next thing come e-procurement. So here also is the word E, but this is enterprise. Enterprise resource planning. It's a wonderful tool, ERP, to connect the organization, but doesn't connect the procurement with the supplier, doesn't connect with procurement end to end. It puts procurement into silo function. And then once we do e-procurement, so e-procurement means electronic, is again on the internet, end to end, full one platform. That's what we're looking around. And the next thing comes is procurement 4.0. So this is where I said around ERP came very nice, enterprise. All of you must be having ERP, I'm confident. But ERP does not address the pains, the procurement pains. What does ERP covers for you? All of you. It covers your requisition part. It covers your purchase order. It doesn't cover your payment. It covers your payment. It doesn't cover sourcing. It doesn't cover contract management. It doesn't cover supplier relationship management. It doesn't cover performance management. So in short, it does not give you end-to-end visibility. Transparency is missing. And we want transparency in today's world. So we want spend visibility, we want compliance rates, we want supplier relationship. All of them are missing in this. So when we say of e-procurement, keep in mind it's a single platform, again internet type. You might call it the intranet or something. The Singapore government was talking around was intranet. So intranet, you're trying to connect with this. Automate the repetitive process. Some activities are repetitive. Same thing I'm doing again and again. The job becomes very boring. So you want to say, guys, this repetitive functions, can't we give it to someone? So some low value item, low risk item, like Singapore, I think if you heard him, less than $6,000. Same thing I did in the UN also. I did it long back in 2008. I did around 2,500 US dollar, keeping in mind the account. Anything less than that we'll do with the P card, and we'll do avoid the repetitive part, provide real time, accurate supplier management system, improve communication, streamline time consuming and contract negotiation. So when we talk of e-tools, we are talking of e-sourcing, e-auctions, e-invoicing, e-RFX. So all these tools have to be e-contract management, e-supplier data management, e-supplier relationship management. So the moment I put E, they're all built in together hand in hand. So that means all activities of procurements are done electronically. So when I do electronically, every information is in the system. I don't need to look at anything. So this gives you a wonderful idea between supplier and the buyer, how they are connected electronically. And if I show this way, so we have source to contract, I'm doing the long-term agreements, sourcing, supplier management, contract management, catalog management. Then we have this information is generated by them by suppliers, agreements, catalogs, and goes to P2P. So procurement in the private sector has already become two pillars. One is called P2P, one is called source to S2C. So this has become already in the private sector. Public sector is also now thinking of it, how we can use this concept, particularly for the low value and low risk item. Or anything which is low risk item. Whereas a high risk is a different story. When I say risk, I'm talking of supplier risk. I don't have a choices. Only one supplier or two suppliers. So doing bidding is just for namesake. So this is where we are looking procurement in a 360-degree view. One, supplier relationship management. One is P2P intelligence. Other one is source to contract intelligence. So this is the way the person will look like. Once you're done e-procurement, so when he was showing you the pictorial view, the graphic view, saying was showing you. So we say that, guys, you are the person, zero paperwork, first thing. Transparencies. When I go with the E, I got end-to-end connected. Everything is there in the system. Time saving, easy supply chain management, e-sourcing, spend. I can check the spend easily by, if tomorrow this is there, I can use AI to do my spend analysis. Now, procurement versus e-procurement. So keep in mind, the only thing I'll take the key points are e-procurement is the next stage of the evolution. Procurement is the past, and e-procurement is the future. So those who have not done it still, because first, question is, those who have missed e-procurement, can they jump to digital? Some can do it, but it's painful. But some people want to go say, guys, no, let me do first E. So E will create my data. But if I ask you, all of you have ERP, many of you, if I say, guys, can you tell me how many suppliers bidded for this? Who got this? You can't get that information. You may be having in the spreadsheets, but not in the ERP. ERP only has the data of requisition, how many purchase orders, and this. What happened to evaluation? What happened to contract management? Information is all in the files, all in your own computers. It's not in the one platform. That's what we're looking at. Now, is procurement compulsory? This question, I know many people ask it, so I put the question itself. It's not a must, I would call around, but it makes the system better. So I leave it to the people around, because if you do e-procurement, then your data quality will improve. That's what I look at. Now, source to pay, presently there are big gaps. So when we talk of source to pay, visibility gap. 65% company have no visibility beyond tier 1. I think COVID-19, we heard about him once last session. COVID-19, I've given a contract to X, but X is only assembler. And that guy is depending on Y, and the Y is depending on Z. So that means if I need to know the whole chain. This guy will tell me I'll deliver you tomorrow, but I know this guy depends on someone, and the other one depends on someone. So your visibility is not there. So one lesson we all learned in COVID-19 was go beyond tier 1. So when you are doing contracting, you must know what is this supplier. The supplier might be agent and depends on someone else. So you need to know the tier 2, tier 3 if possible. Payment processing gap. Yes, payment is done. The payment is done at the suppliers have a finance group around. They do procurement, purchase order, GNP, goods received notes, and invoice, and they do the process. But supplier doesn't get the information. Supplier is calling you up. What happened to my payment? So last mile gap. So again, distribution wise, we have a gap around. So guys, let me skip this one. Now we come to straight to the next thing. Why digital wholesale? E-procurement is okay. I mean, all steps are done with EE, electronic. So all paper is gone. All data are created. Now we are talking of how the world is changing around Industrial Revolution 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4 came up, the concept came in 2011. Now we're talking of even 5, the next one. If you look at the picture, robots were there in the earlier days, to 1969, something. But now we're talking of the human being connected through this. You can see the internet connection. Sitting from remote, you can switch your fan on. You can make the TV on, whatever you want. So you're connected with the machine. The human beings are connected with the machine. So that is what we're calling Industry 4.0. So when industry becomes 4.0, then supply chain procurement also has to become 4. The 4 means digital. So that means from ERP, I have to move to e-procurement, electronic, end-to-end, no silos, and then switch over to the next one, which is I go of the digital. Now for digital, I've got a wide range of technologies. So the concept of digital means I'm using digital technologies. So they are the wide range of digital technology. We have artificial intelligence, augmented reality, we use in the warehouses, big data. Certainly is AI will only work well if you've got a data. If I don't have a data, then AI, yes, I can use ChatGPT for pulling some information. But to do my own research, I need my own big data. Cloud computing. Your machines will not work. Some of you may think the brain is faster. No. Our brain works with only 20-watt bulb, like 20-watt bulb around. AI is megawatts around. That's what morning when Anna was talking around, is creating a lot of carbon footprint also. Big servers, big data centers. So Internet of Things. I want to get things get connected. And IoT is a wonderful tool to give the data to you. My shipment is coming. I got a sensor. I got IoT. So sensor will tell me the material, what is the temperature, what is this, whatever information you want. IoT will connect with the clouds and give me the information. Then we're talking RFID, robotics, simulation, all the things are there. The one which is becoming popular now is, for us, for the procurement people, is AI and the big data. So when we use AI and big data, then cloud computing comes automatically. IoT comes automatically. I know Anna talked about the blockchain also. So blockchain is also becoming very well visible, particularly when I come to sustainable procurement. So this is the way, meaning I want everybody to understand digitization is one word where I convert the data. I got a paper, I scan it, I convert into digital. But it's not by nature digital. But digitalization means it is by nature digital. If you're sending someone invoice, it goes like an e-invoice. Not that you send a hard copy or a PDF file, the guy will scan it and convert into E, and then E will be matched with the E purchase orders. It's a long process. It's a waste of time. So digitalization is by nature digital. Digitization is by I convert the data, analog data into digital. Transformation means the whole department. Not then procurement, one activity I do digitalize, but I want activity end to end from requisition till closing of the file, complete digital. So there are different type of data required around. So you have all the contracts, all the specs, bill of materials. Then you need movement of the goods around. Then we need third-party data. If I want to select a supplier today, you will go down to the Google and search, who are the possible suppliers? Yes. But if I've got a third-party data like Thomas Registers, other ones, I can ask them even verbally, can you find a speaker supplier for me for this item? It'll pull out. It'll understand my language and give me the data on my screen. So that's what we're talking about. So all these inputs with the external data, internal data help us to make source to contract predictive. And P2P certainly can be automated and proactive SRM. Why digital transformations? So we need certainly this, sourcing and SRM, moving fast to some items. So big data, the word big means size. Your computer screens, whatever you guys have around, up to 150 gigabytes. The data itself will be 150 gigabyte. How do we operate it? So you need much bigger frame, much bigger system. So this is why we call it big data, because of the velocity, because of the size, because of the volume. They go into petabytes. It's not even gigabyte, next. So this is why we are calling it a big data. You say, guys, okay, if you've got a data of all possible suppliers, you say, guys, can you find a supplier of speakers for me in, let's say, Nigeria, or in India, or in America, or any country around? They'll pull out. You just speak it out and that comes on your screen. Then you look at the specs, then you look at the past data of the company and then identify. You need external data, source of opportunity, customer generated data, customer generated text, social data, streamlining, sensors, and third party. The benefits, I'm skipping it. I'm sure you all are aware of it. So this whole digital world is moving into the game changer. So the moment we get into the digital concepts around, every information is available to you. You can access it. The only risk in this one is if your data is also stolen around and passed on someone, that's where the governments are coming with restriction on data. Because someone is crawling into your website. Look at the Google search. How do we do Google search? You put a question and then it crawls every website and pulls out the information. So you can say, yes, it is taking away the information of someone else. And then tells you, but that's a part of the marketing. Now we come to the AI. I'll just take 5-10 minutes on this and then we can take the questions. AI part. AI comes as a simulation of human intelligence. How we think, how we act. So there are different scenarios in that. If I want to summarize in a simple word, it's an algorithm. This algorithm is simple mathematical model. I know somebody will say, I'm doing an Excel also. my formulas and gives me the answer. Yes. But then again, answer, you have a flow chart. If this happens, do this. If this happens, do this. So algorithm goes more than that. It's not the computational part. It also gives you the flow charts. So the combination of the two gives you something. So AI has been for many, many years. Although it has not been very popular word around, but was being used by many. But now the new versions which has come, the babies of AI, the machine learning, NLPs, big data, all these things have made it much bigger. So if I say this one, artificial intelligence is a broad terms, algorithm. Machine learning is also algorithm. But this has got beautiful thing that takes the data, improve on the data to make decision and prediction. So it can predict, you guys, the trend in the last 10 years with this supplier has been this. And then they will say, guys, possibilities that this could have this risk around. So machine learning can predict it, do it very well for you. Deep learning is a much advanced stage. And the same one was being used in Tesla car to do autopilot. So the baby has become much smarter now. So artificial intelligence has been for many, many years. I said to you from 56, 57. Then came machine learning, deep learning, and now we have got bombarded by generative AI. ChatGPT is the most popular one, but there are many now. Microsoft has come with copilots and there are others. Many companies are creating their own generative AI. So generative AI is the buzzword of 2023 and it covers beautiful thing, content, including text, images, audios, videos, graphic, synthetic. If you submit your all data to this, and AI can pull the data around and then make a video for you, make an audio for you. So this can create much bigger, and this has become revolutionized. But it needs a data. Keep in mind, AI survives on data. The food for AI is data. If you want to take someone else's data and then search on it, that's your problem. Then you have a problem. But your own data, if I'm dealing with 10,000 suppliers, I need the data of all the 10,000 suppliers, their history, their performance. And then it will tell me, Krishan, if you're signing a contract, you have this risk with this supplier. So the data is the starting point for success. AI in its form is a critical part, different applications. Now here is the predictive part, prediction part, prescriptive part. It can also prescribe to you guys. Listen, if you're signing a contract with this, you have this problem. It can predict. Then it can give me an answer, guys. If you want to avoid the risk, please incorporate this clause in your contract. So I could do all the things around descriptive. It will describe me the trend. As you do in the Excel, you got a chart, you got a data, it makes a beautiful chart. It describes you. Very basic one. But now we are moving from that simple charts around to diagnostic, trying to diagnose what did it have, why did it happen. Existing chart doesn't answer you. Why the graph has gone down? Why the sale is not going up? Why the procurement is down? Why it has taken more time? Why the delivery? So that diagnostic part is not there. Predictive part is not there. Prescriptive part is not there. So for all that thing, you need data. This one I can do it even with my existing system. So this is how the story comes. Robotic process automation, very manual, then some digital triggers, and lastly is purely deductive. Different tools, the different type of tools we have for the contract management, I can use natural language processing. Wonderful tools. SRM. I can use internet web crawler, which can crawl into everybody's internet of my suppliers and tell me what risks are there. Purchasing, I can use bots. I'm sure many of us are using around. Payments, machine learning, spend analysis, machine learning, supplier identification, big data, RPA for strategic sourcing. So different tools are available around for different things. And I've tried to show you in this slide, which is available to you. You can ask later on. The management processes, core processes. Core processes are your category, supplier management, S2C, project procurement. All these activities are how much benefit is there of AI. So wherever you find 50% colorful, that means RP and AI can help in this. Source to contract, 75%. P2P, 100%. I can automate. Now, this is another one study we did was McKinsey's. They identified the companies who are the ones which are moving forward and which are moving back. Laggards versus this. 3 parameters they took around. Those who are doing excellent on the data analytics. Those who are doing digital part, they are much, and strategy. 3 pillars. You need a good strategy, good digital, and good this one, data. So those companies are moving much faster. Others are lagging. So if they go with the color scheme, so these are the leaders one with the blue one. Now coming back to the skill part, guys, we're moving into digital, we're moving into AI, and our knowledge is only limited to functional competence. I know the rules. I know my procedures. I have to do the bidding. I have to evaluate. I've got the company. But there is nothing about our analytic skill, soft skill, sustainable procurement is again a new word now. So this is what it shows around, guys. We need to build competency on this. So that is why we have already started certification on sustainable. We are doing on AI. We are doing also on negotiation. So basically this plain skill, which is a functional skill, which is I-type, we want to make it a T-shape. Well, any change is not easy. As you rightly heard, everybody hates change. I had around, so when we implement, I had around 2,500 people working on procurement in 166 country office. Everybody was grumbling, so we don't have system. When we brought ERP, then they started grumbling again, sir, you have made our hands tied. Earlier we could change ourselves. So keep in mind, it's a process, it needs, there are 8 steps I mentioned around. You have to change the culture, you have to do, it's a slow process. And somebody said, if you want to make enemies, try to change. I know some people will hate you, but there's no way out. If you don't change, you have become stuck. So, well, guys, closing thoughts. Unlocking the future of procurement is not just a forward-looking thing. It's a strategic imperative, I would call it. It addresses the core challenges and opportunities, new vision for procurements. And again, as this is not just a presentation about the future, again, I would call as an action to become the champion of change. So we have no choice, my friend, whether we are in public sector or in the private sector. Some people say no, public sector not going. I think if you look at Korea and Singapore, they've gone much ahead than many. Even Government of India, we're done with it. GEM, Government Electronic Marketplace. So people are moving into this direction. That's what I'm saying. Well, friend, with this, I want to thank you all. And if any questions, I'll be happy to answer it.
That was truly inspiring, Mr. Batra. Thank you for challenging us to think differently about procurement. So as so that our audience have rushed through a lot of questions to us, which I would really like you to answer it briefly so that we could cover as many questions as we can. So if you're ready, Mr. Batra, can we start the question answers round?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So my first question from the audience is like, how do we negotiate with our toughest supplier, and is there a way to negotiate RPIs? What would be the approach?
Okay. You said RPI, RFI.
RPIs, yeah.
RFI, am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. See, negotiation is a combination of art and science. That you have to keep in mind. In the good old days, we used to say, oh, tell someone, guys, your price is 20% more. But now you have to go back. First thing, are you in a powerful position? First thing, I will try to see if I'm negotiating, I'll see what status I've got. Am I powerful or supplier is powerful? If I've got multiple choice, I'm the powerful. But if supplier is the only one I've got, suppose if I'm working company like say laptop company, and I need a chip. And chip, there's only one, Intel, end of it. Otherwise, laptop will not sell. So when you're working with a supplier, which is a monopolized supplier, you are on the weaker ground. But when you have a multiple choice, you are not on the weaker ground, you're on the upper ground. But then those who are doing monopoly type suppliers, I think you have a right to ask them, guys, can you give us the complete split of your cost? Everybody knows the cost. They know the split part. If you can do that, I think you have one step to go further for negotiation. Don't say that your price is high. And supplier will say, no, this is my price, take it or forget it. In the case of competition, yes, I've got 20 suppliers, I've got 20 offers around. I can compare them very well. I don't have to ask the cost detail. I know very well there's a choice available. So that negotiation is different and this one is different. So I don't want to extend too much, but just to take care of the other questions. Please go ahead.
So next question is, how can AI be utilized to identify and mitigate risks in the procurement process?
Excellent, I did. If I got, let's say I had 25,000 suppliers when I was dealing with 166 country offices. And some suppliers were, again, I go with the concept of 80-20. So 80% of the suppliers cover my 20% of my spend. And 20% of my supplier cover 80% of my spend. So those are the one, and then I will try to see which items are more risky for my chain. So once I know those activities around, because I cannot cover all the one at one time, I'll take the one which are, we call low-hanging fruits. So firstly, I define which are my high-cost items. But number of suppliers are less, so I'll try to put them. And each supplier information is available nowadays openly. How many legal cases are going around, how many compliance are going around, how much is the business being used around. AI has all the access. You and me may not have access, but AI is trying to capture that data as Google is capturing many of us thing information. So same way, like LinkedIn can pull up anyone's information, what the background of the person, same way AI can pull the information if this supplier is doing bad. Financially, they are on a weak ground. There are too many legal disputes, so you have a risk of disruption. So like this, if you can identify the areas and then give the information to the supplier, guys, can you tell me the trend on this? The AI can pull it up. People are using AI for the stock market also. So AI can be used very well for anything. So no second thought.
Well, that was quite insightful, Mr. Batra. And I would once again like to thank you for sharing your expertise with us. The insights you provided on digital transformation will undoubtedly shape the future of procurement practices worldwide. And to our lovely audience, if we didn't get your questions, don't worry, we'll be answering and addressing each one of them later on in our sessions.
Thank you again, Annie. Take care, guys.
Thank you. Thank you once again.
Good day then. Take care.